Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and children of all ages, this is the second episode of the Unlimited Podcast. We are coming to you immediately following an outstanding Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Some of it's surprising. Some of it might not be as surprising, but holy, you know what? That Royal Rumble pay-per-view was really damn good. And here to talk about it with me, I've been on his channel a couple times. You may have subscribed to him. Here he is, Mr. Charisma from Anything Goes Show. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing great. I mean, now, Matt, can we rewind the tape? Did you just say that great and WWE pay-per-view in the same sentence? Like, outstanding. I know. It's been a good few minutes. I mean, it's been Survivor Series, and then you got to go back to last year's Rumble. But I am excited to be on your channel. First time ever. I feel normal, but I'm like in a live stream. I'm like, you're cutting to me. It's weird, but I am excited to talk about the Rumble, WrestleMania possibilities, all the matches. You're the host, man. This is you go. What are we gonna talk about? We have so much ground to cover.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Wow, just 6 hours, well, almost 6 hours if you count pre-show of action, and a lot of it was good. Some of it not so good, but we'll get to that. That's just us being picky. But I picked a really damn good pay-per-view to review with you. This is was a really good show, honestly, and yeah. When you say when was the last time you can talk about great pay-per-views? Rumble 2016, yeah, probably.
Survivor Series with that squash match, to me, that put that show a little bit higher on that list of 2016. But you got to go back to the Rumble. I mean, yeah. You got to go back a year. That's bad.
I know, that is pretty bad. And you had some pay-per-views that had higher hopes that were just disappointments. And then you had pay-per-views that sucked, that were decent, or sucked on paper but were decent. But this show, I mean, the one thing that I loved about it from the start was just how unpredictable it was. You never know what was going to happen. You never knew, excuse me. And especially when get him.
I liked the big venue. I liked the big venue feel to it, the big time feel to it, the presentation of it, the video package. Like, me and you, we're both communication majors, and we can appreciate some good editing and some good shots and some good technical work. And WWE is the best in the business. I don't want to hear, by the way, there was some rumblings about a New Japan WWE war. I don't want to hear about it. New Japan doesn't want any part of WWE at this point, because if you piss off Vince McMahon, he's going to come back. And he's been off his rocker for the last 4 years, but I don't want to hear about a war. I mean, you talk about the best in the world at production, and when you have production, when you have that big-time venue, big-time feel, it puts you a step ahead. Even if the show sucks, it puts you a step ahead of everybody else. And that's what my little comment I wanted to make about that. I mean, I thought the opening video package was sensational for Royal Rumble. It just blew me away.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that WWE always does a great job with their video packages, and tonight was just no different. It makes you actually interested in a story, even when it's a bad story or when it's a bad feud. It actually gets you invested in it. It actually gets you focused on it. I like the fact that they put the Rumble in a big stadium like you talked about. The one thing I did not like, and I poon WWE on this at every Big Four pay-per-view. If it is a Big Four pay-per-view and it is a big show, do not give the big show a Raw set.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly what the WWE did. It was, you had this tiny set in this giant stadium. It just did not work for me. It's the Royal Rumble. It's a Big Four pay-per-view, and some may argue that it's even bigger than WrestleMania. Some, maybe I'm not going to get a lot of argument for that. But
not me, but some.
Yeah, some people. But it just didn't feel right that, you know, you're supposed to be watching this big pay-per-view. It's the road to WrestleMania. You're finally getting there, and it feels like you're watching an episode of Raw because there's the Raw set.
I agree. It doesn't make it stand out. Now, the only difference that we saw tonight was 50-some thousand people. Maybe it was a high in the high 40s, high 40,000s. They exaggerate that number normally, but just the thousands upon thousands of heads watching, and they got a lot of long shots of the crowd. It made it feel different, but that Raw stage disappointment, obviously, for a lot of people that wanted something different, wanted something fresh, but didn't get it. I don't know if you're going to talk about the pre-show. I didn't watch. I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch 6 hours of wrestling. I went through that shit at WrestleMania 32. I'm not going to watch 6 to 7 hours of wrestling, so I didn't watch it. I can comment on the results, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just touch on it briefly. The 6-women tag match was just all right. It was pretty much just okay. The tag title match, I personally did not like that the club won. I don't like the club. I never really have. As Schleg Daddy calls them bald jobbers, I really couldn't agree more. And then you had Nia Jas defeating Sasha Banks, and this is just another example of the WWE having no idea what the hell they're doing with Sasha Banks. It's just like she's thrown in here and she loses again, and it's like every pay-per-view she just can't catch a break.
I used a harsh expletive to describe WWE and their mishandling of Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell. I'm not going to reiterate that, but I heard that she lost, and she lost in quick order. I don't know.
It was 5 minutes. It was literally 5 minutes, and it was a pretty bad match. From the reaction of the crowd, nobody cared. The one thing that I didn't really like about this whole show, it's 4 hours. Why do we need 3 matches on the pre-show? It just bugged me. I know that the Rumble match is an hour, but you still have time to fill. Like this pay-per-view ended 25 minutes early or 20 minutes early. You could have fit one of these pre-show matches. Why do we need like the tag title match? We have new tag team champions. Why can't that be on the main show? It just bothers me a little bit.
I'm just glad that they didn't try and stretch it to 11, 11:15, 11:30 like WrestleMania.
Like SummerSlam and WrestleMania, yeah.
Dragged. I'm glad it ended earlier because I think it helped. It helped a lot.
Now we get to main show, and just before we get into any matches, we talked a little bit earlier. What were your general reactions of this main card?
I thought, like I said, I thought there was room for more matches. I thought going in, I wanted to see, particular things from different matches. I want to see the Cruiserweight match be a Cruiserweight match, be flips and kicks and spots and craziness for 10 minutes or 12 minutes. I want to see the 2 women go out and just, have a match, but not a long match. It didn't need to be a long match. Cena and AJ, you're going to get a great match. I didn't care how long that they went. And Roman and Kevin Owens, I wanted to see a different match because we've seen them touch, not wrestle. I'm going to be in a match. I'm going to be very particular with my words. We've seen them touch dozens of times. It needs to feel different. It needs to feel fresh. And it needed to spotlight Chris Jericho in that shark cage. And that, to me, that match, it exceeded my expectations. It definitely did. And then the Royal Rumble, we're going to talk about it a lot, but that was the beautiful bow on top of this great present delivered to WWE, a late Christmas present, if you will. Maybe a New Year's resolution for WWE.
Yeah.
Put on good shows. I don't know. But I thought, for the most part, the Cruiserweight match was probably the only mediocre match on the card. I thought Charlotte and Bayley was solid. And the other 3 matches to me delivered.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, Universal title match delivered. Women's match, shockingly, delivered a little bit more than I thought it would. We'll talk about that first. You opened up the show with this Raw Women's Championship match, Charlotte and Bayley. Sometimes predictability is a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing. Well, in this case, predictability isn't that really that bad of a thing. Like, if you want to establish Charlotte as this unbeatable woman on pay-per-views, that's fine. That's honestly fine with me. I just wish it wasn't at the expense of Sasha Banks. But in this case, Charlotte and Bayley, I thought that they had really good chemistry, and I thought that in an opening Rumble match, they really did a pretty good job. I really liked the finish with the natural selection on the apron. I thought that that was pretty unique. What are your thoughts on this?
Solid heat, solid work, solid match. Just solid. I mean, people are probably going to overrate it a little bit because of Charlotte and Bayley. But I think Charlotte, to me, and I told this to my brother, I think Charlotte is the best women's wrestler total package on WWE at this point. Because Sasha, she's not utilized correctly. And when she is, I don't even think she's comfortable in her own skin sometimes. I think Charlotte has the mic work. I think she has a look. She's got her daddy swagger, natural, charismatic swagger about her, and she can go and ring, and that's a big element for a lot of internet fans. But she can go and ring, and tonight I thought she handled herself like a champion. She worked a solid match. She got what she wanted out of Bayley, and she beat her. And I thought that was perfect. I'm not sold on Bayley. I don't know what it is about her. You know, even building up to this match, I think she comes off 2 hugs and high fives. She comes off with little to no aggression. Even when Charlotte, the 2 weeks ago on Raw, when they had that bad segment, Charlotte kind of was a little bit awkward in her delivery, and Bayley comes out after Charlotte talked about her fandom, all aggressive, and then everything just stops. And she just calms down and politely speaks to Charlotte in a very polite tone. I thought the match didn't have that kind of tone, but it didn't have, you know, Bayley when she was getting slapped and called a fan. I don't know. I don't buy Bayley at this point. I really don't. I don't know if it's the way everybody's packaging her, but it was her character in NXT. So it's the same Bayley that we're getting, and it's not working out for me. I don't like it. But like I said, solid heat, solid match, solid work.
I'll agree with that. It was a solid way to open up the show. Got the crowd into it immediately. Going back to Bayley, I think the one biggest problem is her promos. She's just not really that good on the mic, and sometimes you don't have to be to get your point across. But you know, in this case, when you're trying to get these women to stand out, they need to stand out in any way possible, and promo work is a big part of that.
Like, Roman doesn't have to speak. Goldberg doesn't have to speak. Goldberg didn't speak for almost a year.
For the love of God, that Goldberg promo. Oh my God.
Bayley needs to, and I don't think because she's loved by a lot of internet fans or loved by a lot of even casual fans, I think people overlook it. People just push it aside and don't really attack her. And I'm attacking her on it. She's got to be better in some aspects of her overall character. And it's not working at this point. Charlotte, to me, her narrative by internet fans was that she, and I'm generalizing people, but when she was just into the business, she was getting all the breaks. Oh, it's because of her father. It's because of her daddy. It's because of Ric Flair. And it's got to get over that hump. Like, she's better than just Ric Flair's daughter. I think she's a very good talent, and she proved it tonight, getting Bayley to a solid match.
I'll agree with that. Then we get to this. Oh, first of all, I want to give Dylan Rumor, my friend, a shout out. I know he's watching, and I know he's been messaging me asking for one. So there you go. But then we get to the Universal Championship match. No disqualifications. Chris Jericho suspended above the ring in a shark cage because the WWE loves bringing back those shark cages. We saw it with NXT TakeOver in Toronto, and now we're seeing it here. General thoughts on this match?
First, the shark cage work. If anybody remember, I did a retro review of I believe, I don't know, but China was in a shark cage. Triple H and Owen Hart. And that worked because China was the focal point, good match. And going into it, like I said before, we needed something different. We needed something fresh because we've seen these guys touch dozens of times. Overexposed, just diluting your product, diluting your superstars, diluting this feud. And with big moment after big moment after big moment, they saved it. To their credit, they saved it. And I thought Roman Reigns, to me, people can bash the shit out of Roman Reigns all that they want to, but the guy delivers in big moment after big moment after big moment. And he delivered tonight, and people are going to give credit to Kevin Owens for dragging Roman Reigns, who can't work a match to save his life, to a good match. But, ladies and gentlemen, it takes two to tangle. Roman Reigns,
I was about to say.
The Roman Reigns tangled very well tonight. I thought, for what it was, for that no disqualification, everybody had to throw a bunch of bells and whistles on this match to make it feel different than every other time that these two guys had touched. And I think that they did that. I think that chair spot with Kevin Owens taking that bump, I don't know how I would do it. I don't know. I won't be able to do it. Falling back on, a stacked 6 or 7 chairs. You had that table bump from Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. They threw everything at you. And I thought it worked. But to me, the best part of the match was the finish. I thought Roman Reigns had it. I thought WWE was going to give like a big FU to the fans and have John Cena and Roman Reigns as dual champions heading into WrestleMania. And Roman Reigns is lying for the spear, and they got a shot of him. And I'm thinking, why that kind of shot? Because I think differently as a communication student. And Braun Strowman drags him out, power up, choke slams on the table. Didn't break. Roman took that like a champ, and then power slam through a table. Looked great. Great booking decision. Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, big time match at WrestleMania potentially, but I think it's gonna be Roman and Undertaker, what we saw later on. I don't know what Braun Strowman's motives were at that point, because Undertaker canceled Braun Strowman out later on, unless Jericho and Kevin Owens paid him off. But I thought it was, for what it was, and it exceeded my expectations of it.
Yeah, this match felt like a title match. It felt like a personal feud where pretty much anything's on the line, everything's on the line. It felt like a big-time match. And when you can get that out of the WWE today, you've done a really good job. No matter how boring of a champion, and listen, Kevin Owens is my favorite wrestler. He's been a boring champion. I don't care what any of you people say about Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens as a world champion has not worked. Not saying Roman as a world champion has, but it hasn't worked.
The Chris Jericho element has been entertaining. That I'm gonna put that out there. But Kevin Owens has been a guy with the belt, just like Roman Reigns was a guy with the U.S. belt. Kevin Owens has been a guy with the Universal Championship. No.
I completely agree with that. But yeah, this match felt like a money match. They threw elements in there. They threw weapons in there. They didn't just make it a boring, bland, one-on-one wrestling match. They went into the crowd. Like, they used chairs, they used tables, they used this, they used that. You got that big surprise element at the end where the only time you really had an involvement of Jericho was when he threw down the brass knuckles. And I liked that. That's all you needed out of him. You didn't need a screwy stuff where you knock out the ref and then Owens goes over and he lowers Jericho down, like something like that. You didn't need any of that crap. Not a lot of involvement out of Jericho, which is good. But then you had that big moment at the end, like I mentioned, Strowman interfering and costing Reigns. I liked this match. I really did.
That finish doesn't make sense now.
It really doesn't. And I was actually gonna mention that when we talked about the Rumble match. But yeah, I mean, now looking back at it, you look at this and you're like, well, yeah, it was a great finish, but now what the hell is the point?
No, what's the point? Like I would say, and I don't think Braun's had backstage segments with Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, and he's been very cold, very put offish, very cold to both of them. So I don't think paying off Braun Strowman would even work. I understand Roman and Braun have had their run-ins with each other, but it's not enough for Braun Strowman to cost Reigns a championship match, especially if he's not going to face him at WrestleMania. I don't get it. And if we don't get an explanation for it, to me, it's dumb, it's stupid, and it's a cop-out. I thought it was, at the time, it was a great finish, but the Royal Rumble happened, and now I don't know what to think.
Yeah, I don't know either, honestly. I still think that in the next couple of weeks, maybe even tomorrow night on Raw, we're going to get a U.S. title match with Roman and Jericho, and that's when you start the Owens-Jericho feud. I really hope that they start that soon, because that's pretty much the direction they're going for Mania. I think it's obvious at this point. Another direction they're going, and we'll talk about later, Cesaro and Sheamus, they need to start building that up too. Obviously, you're going to get Orton and Wyatt, but that's later on. Let's talk about this Cruiserweight match. Cruiserweight Championship, Rich Swann and his boring ways versus Neville. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Go ahead.
It got better. It got to what it needed to be from the jump, but they just made Neville like any other WWE superstar at that point. He was just a traditional style. He wasn't really doing anything out of the ordinary. He wasn't jumping off barricades and hitting 450s off barricades, which I've seen him do before, and dives. And it wasn't a spot fest. And it got to that point, but at that point the crowd was just mediocre, marginal reactions at best. They got better toward the end. There was a few stiff kicks by Rich Swann and a few good strikes by Neville, but at that point it just averages out. It plateaus out to an average match, and that's what it was. Thank God Neville won the belt.
Yes.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Swann as champion. I'm not really a fan of how WWE is using Swann. The match, and I get a lot of heat for talking about spot fests. I don't like seeing them all the time. That doesn't make me a bad person. Just in the WWE, it's about much more than just a spot fest. It's about more than it's about everything else that goes along with it. You can have a spot fest that tells a good story. You can. Mm-hmm. Storytelling is key, and unfortunately here it's dead. But when you look at the cruiserweights, the reason why they're cruiserweights is because they can do that type of stuff. They're designated in their own brand, in their own way, in their own style of matches for them to be able to do that. And in this case, everything the cruiserweights are about, I didn't get that in this match. And yeah, we got a little bit at the end, but it was like blink and you missed it, and that was it. Mm-hmm. And this match was just mediocre to me, and that's pretty much all I have to say. It was a space filler to separate the two world title matches. That's pretty much what it was.
Plus, you had the top 30 moments of Rumble history. You had one, and a negative I want to mention on the show. Maybe it's nitpicking, but I love those backstage number drawing segments. They only had one tonight, I think.
Yeah.
One. And they with Eddie Guerrero, and you used to have fantastic backstage segments with Vince McMahon and his creepy.
When he stole the number from Ric Flair and he tried to get away with it. That was
Eddie Guerrero. It's Eddie Guerrero, and it's classic Eddie. But they had one segment like that. I thought you could have got a lot more people involved throughout the New Day, Cesaro and Sheamus. I mean, you could have advanced so much more, and you could have
made it entertaining.
But that's one I do want to mention. But
yeah. I completely agree. And even on the pre-show, when the WWE had Sunday Night Heat, you would do something where, let's say, you have a match where the winner gets the number 30 spot, the loser gets the number 1 spot. Or if you have, if you win this match, you get added to the Rumble match. Why didn't we get a lot of those matches? It was just kind of like people came out and say, I'm entering myself into the Royal Rumble.
It's been that way for years. I don't understand
it. Being in the Royal Rumble, having a spot in the Royal Rumble is earned. Or at least I thought it was.
Sami Zayn earned it. That's about it. Oh, and Mojo Rawley over the top. But yeah, I thought it was a space filler. That Cruiserweight match came off like a space filler. And like you said about Spot Fest, you're not wrong. I can't stand matches that just start with – or every match sometimes when I look at the indie scene or even WWE's get forearm exchanges. Like one big forearm. Like you don't need it. You don't
forearm, super kick. And it's like that's all you see.
But we needed more dives and stuff like that for 10 minutes, and I don't know. We didn't get that. We really got it for about 4 minutes. But.
Yeah, that was about it. Alrighty, then we get to you talk about 5-star matches and 6-star matches. Well, honestly, this match was definitely a 5-star match, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I completely mean it 100%. From start to finish, even the finish, John Cena versus AJ Styles, WWE World Heavyweight Championship, their 3rd match of the 3. Or 4th, whatever way you want to spin it. I don't know. This match to me was incredible. And as I was going through this match, I'm like, okay, it's better than the first one now. Okay, now it's better than the second one. And as soon as it kept going and going and going, I'm like, you know what? This is the best match the two of them, had. And to me, just their chemistry worked perfectly. I loved the build up to this. I loved the match. And I honestly do not mind the finish. I actually really like the finish. It leaves me a little bit intrigued going into WrestleMania to see where they're going to go with this. And the chemistry that these two had, for me alone, was what sold me, because this match was really damn good. They pulled out some stuff that I didn't even know they can do, and they did it, and it worked. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't say I want to go 5 stars. I rarely give
You monster! I'm just kidding.
I rarely give out 5-star matches. I wouldn't go 5. I thought it was a great match, fantastic match. But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? A lot of internet fans, a lot of hardcore fans, WWE spun you people. WWE spun you people to have John Cena beat AJ Styles clean to win a 16 championship. And I didn't hear a lot of boost tonight out of 52,000.
Oh, no.
I didn't hear a lot of boost. Now, let me get this straight. Internet fans, go back and watch that and tell me you didn't get swindled into cheering John Cena. That's how brilliant Vince McMahon is at destroying your puny minds sometimes. Not all your minds are puny, but some of them are. And that was tremendous. I mean, John Cena, the guy who, the biggest monster of the last decade. He's been at the top for a decade, multiple championships, burials out of his ass. And this man just won a 16 championship by defeating one of the poster child of the internet, AJ Styles. To me, for my money, he's the best wrestler on the face of this earth right now. He beat AJ Styles to win his 16th title, tying Ric Flair, and you people, you cheered it. You cheer John Cena. Ha! Ha! All right, anyway, I'm done with my rant.
It was like when it reminds me a little bit of WrestleMania 32 and when Reigns beat Triple H. And when I was looking back at the TV version, I saw a lot of people put their hands up
And bring him down because it's Roman and he's not, but
yeah, he doesn't do flips and kicks, so he sucks.
I don't think John Cena warrants 16 because of how he's kind of stalled the business a little bit. Ric Flair, even when Ric Flair put over people or beat people, he put them over. John Cena didn't do that. John Cena buried people. But anyway, to the match, I thought you had 3 great elements to go into it. You had early storytelling from John Cena. A few times he hulked up in the corner. He looked at AJ Styles like he was beneath him, like he was not on the same level with him, and clotheslined the ever-living shit out of that man twice. And that was beautiful. You had that great submission exchange right in the middle of that match. It went on for about 3 to 4 minutes. I didn't think they were capable of doing that. I knew AJ was, but John Cena brought it too. Both guys exchanged the knee bar, and then you had the cross STF. You had an STF. You had, I don't know.
The figure 4.
Figure 4. You just 3 to 4 minute submission exchange, just phenomenal. And Cena breaks out with a kind of a powerbomb move. And then you had the finish. Yes. John Cena not only hits an A off the middle rope, but an AA back-to-back to beat AJ Styles. But I'm just going to say, because I'm enjoying myself. You internet fans, you hardcore fans, you got swindled into cheering John Cena 52,000 on their feet for John Cena beating AJ Styles winning a 16. You got swindled. I'm like, I'm going to wear a John Cena jersey tomorrow.
I think I am too. I might buy a shirt.
You people got swindled into cheering a man that you've hated for 10 years that just beat your golden boy at the Royal Rumble for 16th championship. That's how good Vince McMahon is. That's how good he is. Oh,
beautiful.
Bobby Roode level, baby.
I got to agree with that, honestly.
Put that on your unlimited highlight reel right there. That's
got it.
The beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Anyway, go ahead.
No, go. I love these rants. This is awesome. But I look at this match. There's an art of being a good heel, and when you're a good heel, you're supposed to be the obstacle. You're supposed to be the guy that the hero overcomes. You're supposed to be the villain. Well, AJ Styles in this match played that role to a T. He played it perfectly. You have him take an AA, kicks out. AA from the top rope, kicks out. This move, that move. The freaking sunset flip powerbomb that Cena did. You had Cena pull out.
Good for Cena to get that over, man.
Yeah, definitely. You had Cena do like that modified version of the big ending, which was brand new. I never saw him do that before. And he did it. And he did all this cool stuff that I never knew he could do. And you had Styles kick out of everything. That's a good heel right there. It's not supposed to be the babyface that does that. It's supposed to be the heel because you're trying to overcome them. And then at the end of the match, you get the one final strike. The hero defeats the villain with those two AAs. And I was actually surprised that he just picked him up for a second one. I thought he was just going to do one and it was over.
He rolled over into the second one and that was it. I mean, I knew it was over, but I mean, it's incredible that AJ Styles can do that. And that's why I think he's just more than just another independent wrestler. He's a guy that embellishes his own character. He's a guy that can speak about his own character and his beliefs. And yes, a lot of what John Cena and AJ Styles do to each other were a lot of personal stuff about I'm the man, you're part-time, you're just a Hollywood guy now. A lot of it was personal, but AJ Styles can do it and do it beautifully. And I thought him and John Cena built that up fantastic throughout the weeks on SmackDown with just promos. Don't need a ton of matches. Don't need tag team matches. Don't need 6-man tag team matches. Promos and segments win the day in the end, and it won the day tonight. To me, best match of the night just by like a little bit because I thought, I think I would go with AJ Styles and John Cena SummerSlam from last year better than this match, but because of the moment AJ Styles conquers the biggest monster in the last decade, John Cena, and I thought that match just tremendous. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people thought this was better. But AJ Styles and John Cena.
What else can we say, right?
I knew it was going to be great.
I knew, yeah.
I knew it was going to be great, and everybody else, even the swindlers, even the people going swindled and cheering John Cena, knew it was going to be great. And John Cena, 16-time champion, going into WrestleMania. We can talk about who his opponents might be, or one opponent might be, later on. But applause to both guys. AJ Styles really gives a damn about being at WWE and being on the biggest stage because he's worked his ass off for a year straight. Most consistently great performer in ring over the last year. I'd say total package, and The Miz may be my second total package of the last year. Chris Jericho not far behind. But AJ Styles, tremendous tonight.
Absolutely, completely, 100% agree. Then we get to the main event. After 6 hours, at least in my case, of wrestling.
I feel bad for you now, but
well, at least the pre-show matches were short. I'll give it that. It could have been like a 20-minute match for each of them. So at least one of them went like 5 minutes and the others went like 10. So that's fine with me. We got to the Royal Rumble match, and well, we now know our winner, and it kind of came across as a surprise. I was a little bit surprised by that, and I'm surprised in a good way. But what are your thoughts overall on this match?
Guess who's gonna get?
I think I already know what they are, but go ahead.
Now, if John Cena might lose the belt, he might. But if he doesn't, we are going to get Randy Orton and John Cena. Now, I've bashed WWE before. They needed John Cena and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. This has never happened before. But it needed to happen like 8 years ago, or like 7 years ago, or 6 years ago. It is 2017, and you not you, but I'm talking to you people. Some of you people might get swindled into cheering that match at WrestleMania, a match that you but Randy Orton wins, and a lot of the bookers actually had it. A lot of the people who predicted it had it. My friend over in the UK said Orton was a prime to win the Rumble. I thought he was going to win at one point. A lot of people convinced me. I thought Taker for a long time, but rumors floated about Roman and Taker, and I'm thinking, Roman and Taker.
Intriguing.
But incredibly intriguing. But Randy Orton wins. We could talk. We're gonna dissect this Rumble, but it was a bit of a shocker. When Undertaker eliminated, I knew it was gonna be Randy Orton. But I mean, the Viper, and I remember I was at Money in the Bank 2013 in Philadelphia, and I had no idea Randy Orton would win that Money in the Bank and face John Cena for the title. This year, it's a little bit different. I had a little bit of an inkling he would win, but it's still an interesting choice for WWE. You had Lesnar and Goldberg. I knew they would cancel each other out.
Yes.
You had Undertaker. That was a big option. Chris Jericho. You saw him. He was taking out every chance that they got. You thought that would build up to something. But that's it. I mean, Randy Orton, the Viper, if you will, taking it home.
Yeah, honestly, the finish, even though Cena versus Orton doesn't really float my boat that well, we still got the Chamber coming up, so you never know. I just don't buy them ending his 16th title reign in 2 weeks.
Nope.
I don't buy that. And unless you have him lose it and then win the 17th to break it at Mania, oh God.
Matt, just mute your mic when you say stuff like that, all right?
So what I actually said was
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought you said.
perfect. Right. But yeah, this Royal Rumble match.
Woo.
Let's talk about like some highlights of this match, some highlight performers. Chris Jericho was definitely a highlight performer because he spent pretty much the entire match rolling out of the ring, the smartest guy in the match, rolling out of the ring. Every time he comes back in, he takes a big move, rolls back out of the ring, takes another big move, rolls back out of the ring. He is by far the smartest guy in this entire Rumble match.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it's expected because he's experienced. It's Chris Jericho. He's been around the block a few times. But he definitely stood out to me. Who else stood out to you?
Chris Jericho for sure. A lot on his back, a lot outside the ring. But we knew when he came in, I think number 2, I think I knew he was going to last a long time. I'd say Braun Strowman. I mean, you look at
definitely
1 to 13 when Big Show came out. I mean, Braun Strowman it's amazing to see that simplicity wins out. Simple, no 450s, no suicide dives, no missile drop kicks. This guy just clubs and forearms and just annihilates people in the simplest way possible. And 52,000 people oohed and awed at that shit. Yeah, I didn't even think that would be possible. When he picked up Kalisto and threw him to the stratosphere over that top rope, the dudes on the outside, Big Cass and whoever else got eliminated, almost didn't catch him. Braun threw him that far. I mean, Braun Strowman looked like a beast, eliminated the Big Show. That was a great stare down. Big Show looks fantastic. He does. Big Show, good for you, my man. Work on that. That stare down was great. I thought Baron Corbin I don't think they had a stare down. They should have had a stare down. They were in the same time. But
Corbin and Strowman?
Corbin and Strowman? I thought they were. Maybe they weren't. But I thought at some point even if they weren't, they should have had a stare down because they're the 2 future big men, along with Big Cass. But James Ellsworth, good for him. Got his moment and took.
I was about to say James Ellsworth, obviously Jack Gallagher. When Jack Gallagher, when he came out, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, I knew it. He's going to come out. He came out. Yes. And it just worked. And he was definitely a star in this match, even though he was the first one eliminated.
That umbrella to Chris Jericho, and then Chris Jericho's twirling it under himself.
Yeah.
I was dying. To me, he's got more personality than 70-80% of his fellow cruiserweights.
Probably.
That man has personality.
And when you can get negative fans like me, like I'm always negative. People always know that. People know that. When you get negative fans like me, and in some cases negative fans like, let's say, the Schleg Daddy, and I always use him as an example because he's pretty much like my main inspiration to do this, or one of them. When you can get us to like this guy, you've done something right. And Jack Gallagher was definitely a standout in this match. He's definitely a standout on that roster, and I really hope that they do big things with him. I really do.
I don't know about main event potential, but
no. I wouldn't go that far.
Big card potential. I mean, he's got Intercontinental Champion written all over him. I think could be a good entertaining mid-carder, like a Rikishi, like a Godfather for years to come.
Definitely.
Everybody wants to be main eventer now. I think it's a line that Schleich that he used, and you can't. Not everybody can be a main eventer. You have to have some entertaining mid-carders for their whole career, and Jack Gallagher is a great example. He was a standout to me. What about any more for you? I mean, I have a few left that I think were standouts.
A couple standouts, just for the length of time they were in there. Sami Zayn and Dean Ambrose were definitely two. No matter how much I hate Dean Ambrose, I got to give him that. He lasted a while. You also had Sheamus picked up 3 eliminations. I believe the 3 were the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
He eliminated all 3 of them. Honestly, my secret pick was Big E. I was really upset that he was eliminated there.
Your secret pick was Big E?
Yes.
I didn't even. He didn't cross my mind.
Honestly, like I look at it this way. The people that want to see different stuff, it doesn't get more different than having him win the Rumble. Because if you look at the main event scene, it's pretty much dominated by the white guy. So,
I get it. That's why I didn't consider Big E, because it's Vince McMahon.
I agree. Obviously Baron Corbin, like we talked about. You talked about Strowman.
Kofi had that cool spot hanging on for dear life. It didn't get a lot of oohs and ahs from the crowd like previous years, him using JBL's chair as kind of a pogo stick to get back, or on his handstand or whatever. But I thought that was a cool spot. I thought Bray Wyatt, to me, had a decent showing, a good showing in this match.
I agree.
I wanted to see more from Ziggler. He had a super kick party.
And it really
screw you, Young Bucks. He had a super kick party without you.
It really bugged me that Ziggler just turned heel, and yet he's still acting like a babyface.
I know.
The same moveset, the same run to the ring.
I don't know what they're doing with him. And that's observations that I have when he turned heel. I'm like, great, 6 months to a year too late, but great. Now what are you gonna do with them? And
always the problem.
I've been watching SmackDown closely, and I liked his segment with Jerry Lawler. I liked what he's doing to Kalisto and Apollo Crews. But what's he going to do now? I mean, now the road to WrestleMania, are you going to feature him? Is he going to be in a big-time match? I want to see more from Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn, to me, lasted as long as he could last in that Rumble. I was fine with that. Dean Ambrose, The Miz, I mean, those are guys who just lasted a little bit longer. I was fine with all of those.
Yeah, and what I liked about it, too, is that you had a lengthy period with no eliminations, and it allowed these guys to get time, and it allowed these guys to actually get a little bit of shine on themselves. And that was a good element to a Rumble match that hasn't really been felt in a while, where you can look at who's in there. You can legit make cases for all of them. Like when I did my preview podcast a couple days ago, I talked about how unpredictable this Rumble was, and I looked at all those guys in the ring, and I'm like, you know what? This guy could win it. This guy could win it. This guy could win it. It was really unpredictable, and that's always a great element to add to a Rumble match. That's the point of it. You can't just go into it like, let's say, last year and say, well, no matter what happens, it doesn't matter. Triple H is going to come out. He's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Or the year before that, oh, well, you know, Daniel Bryan's in it, but we all know Reigns is going to win. It's not even a question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the unpredictability, was really damn good. Then we get to the final couple minutes of this match.
Can I say something about Brock Lesnar?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time ranting, and this is not a happy rant for me. I'm pissed. Brock Lesnar, and nobody's gonna talk about it because he's Brock Lesnar. He's got a UFC background. He's got a name. Brock came in unceremoniously threw both Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler out of the ring like they were jobbers. And nobody's going to talk about it. Brock Lesnar came in and suplexed 8 people, hit an F5, looked dominant, and nobody's going to talk about it. If that were the big guy, not that big guy, but the guy, if it were the guy, like what happened at number 30, people would go over it. If Roman Reigns came in, eliminated his best friend, a former best friend, Dean Ambrose, and Dolph Ziggler, the internet would go crazy. But because of Lesnar, it's okay. Now, luckily, they did a good job in. Goldberg came out, and Goldberg and Lesnar had a stare down. It's my thumbnail for my promo for this review. Goldberg speared him and eliminated him like that. I'm blown away. I'm blown away at Brock Lesnar is the biggest monster in the last 2 years. Like, untouchable. Streak breaker, Cena squasher. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Goldberg, with one spear and one clothesline, eliminates Brock Lesnar from the match. What I didn't like is that Brock Lesnar didn't come back and try and beat Goldberg's ass.
I didn't like that.
That's not Brock Lesnar. That's not the beast incarnate I know.
He just gets eliminated and walks away.
Walks out. That's a big negative for me. I don't like that. I don't like that out of the beast incarnate, if you will, because it's one spear. It's not like 2 spears and a jackhammer. It's one spear. Get up, beat Goldberg pillar to post, cancel him out of the Rumble, eliminate Goldberg yourself, and not have him unceremoniously tossed out later on. Had that meaningful elimination of Brock Lesnar costing Bill Goldberg, and we get a bloodbath at WrestleMania. That's what I wanted to see. Yeah. I didn't get it, but kudos. At least we got Goldberg eliminating Lesnar.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with that. Crap, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Undertaker, like the final few.
Yeah, final few guys. I was watching the Rumble with a group of friends, and I was pretty much the only semi-positive guy when Roman came out at number 30. I gotta say, like, my friends are not the biggest Roman Reigns fans. And the problem I had with this is this felt very, very Cena-esque. A little bit too Cena-esque, because you had all that abuse in that Universal title match, and yet here's Roman no selling it and acting as if nothing happened, and here he is in the Rumble match. And that just didn't work for me. That's not good. And I've said before, the last thing you want to do with Roman is to make another Cena. You don't want to replace Cena with another Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what this felt like. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I don't want to see Roman back out. And, like, what did he take? He took a choke slam, a power slam, a lot of chair shots, a lot of abuse. I mean, he took a lot in that match. You fast forward 2 hours later, comes back down. I mean, it did feel Cena-esque in that respect. And it's an excuse to get Undertaker and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't know what other way you could have done it. if Roman didn't take as much abuse or if the match wasn't as brutal, but then you take away from that match, it's hard.
It is. I'll
Roman's
agree.
a little bit more walking down that long-ass aisle because they're on a time limit to the ring. I don't know, but I don't know what other way they wanted that to happen. I get people wanted Samoa Joe, people wanted Finn Balor. You ain't gonna get it. You got what you got, and it was a damn good Rumble.
See,
But
that's another thing though, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but you talk about no Samoa Joe and no Finn Balor, and that's fine. I didn't want Balor in the match to begin with, and a lot of people thought that if Balor was in it, he should win.
nope.
No, thank you. But there weren't really a lot of surprise returns. If there weren't really any, and a big part of the Rumble is surprise. And you had guys like Jack Gallagher, like we mentioned, and James Ellsworth, but they're regular roster guys. It's not really that big of a surprise when they come out. You could, go ahead.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger was one of them.
Baby. Ty Dillinger, my man, number 10. Anyway, go ahead.
We talked about that's all right. We talked about me and a couple friends. We talked about he should come out at number 10, and hey, they listened to us, so there we go. But it just lacked that one big surprise. And even if it was a returning superstar, like even if you threw in a Finn Balor, if you didn't have him win, I would be perfectly fine with that. Even if you threw in a Samoa Joe, I would have been okay with that. It just lacked something. It was a good match, don't get me wrong, but it lacked that one big punch that just let this match be really damn good. If you get what I'm getting.
I get the surprise element, but I thought the last few punches thrown, Undertaker, Goldberg. I mean, you had huge moments, but
I agree.
Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, I mean, that's a huge moment in itself. Goldberg, Undertaker coming out right after that, face down with Phil Goldberg. They should have let that simmer just a little bit longer before other guys started attacking both men. Rusev attacked Goldberg and somebody attacked Taker, but that should have simmered a little bit. I understand people's frustrations with Roman, and I believe me, I don't want Roman to be seen it either. But like I said, it's hard to formulate that WrestleMania match any other way because we understand that Undertaker doesn't want to be associated with just WrestleMania, but he was maybe 1 or 2 Raw shows, and that was it. He made 1 appearance last week, and he talked about entering the Rumble 3 or 4 weeks ago. Undertaker doesn't show up on TV, and he shouldn't. He doesn't need to. He's the Undertaker. He deserves that respect. But how else are you going to market that and make that a match at WrestleMania, like an inter-promotional match, if you don't have Roman Reigns enter the Rumble? Like I don't see where Undertaker just chooses Roman Reigns and I want because Roman Reigns got screwed over by Braun Strowman earlier in the night. By the way, Undertaker no-sold that spear from Goldberg.
Yes.
That shocked me. But I thought the 1, 2, 3, 4 punch at the end with Goldberg and Lesnar and Taker and Reigns, I thought it worked. And I thought the match flowed beautifully.
I think it did too.
The first, from 1 to 20 even, I thought it worked beautifully. I thought it flowed beautifully with Braun Strowman and Jack Gallagher and all those guys. I mean, it's just a big show, and I would have liked one surprise, but you got what you got.
I'm fine with what I got, honestly. I can live with it.
You know what I didn't get? And it's a big negative on this show. I ended up giving the Royal Rumble a 9 out of 10. Seth Rollins. I mean, I
would completely agree.
I didn't factor that in. Last night at NXT, I reviewed that show. Check it out on my channel if you haven't. Shameless plugging on your channel, but
don't worry, there will be a plug. Don't worry.
But I reviewed that show, and I'm like, it's bad that an NXT show when your best moment is with 2 WWE superstars, and one's the COO. And that was the best moment. Seth Rollins, impromptu, coming down. It felt spontaneous. It felt different. Going after Triple H, calling him out. The security guards taking Seth Rollins away. He was banned from the building. Yes, I understand that.
In kayfabe.
Kayfabe, you don't. You're wanting to promote your Raw. I understand, but Matt, remind me what happened in the Attitude Era when Austin was banned from buildings. He got in buildings with a big truck. I don't think security guards are going to stand there in front of and get run over by a big truck or car or vehicle.
Exactly.
Someone could have bought a ticket. People have done that before. Or driven a car, dispersed security guards right down that ramp, maybe not that ramp, but right into the building. And at least have a conversation. At least try and get your WrestleMania spot because we know it's going to happen. Seth Rollins and Triple H. We understand that. However, you weren't at WrestleMania last year. Kayfabe world, you weren't at WrestleMania. This is your only shot at WrestleMania because Triple H ain't giving you the match. But I don't get it. Seth Rollins not making an appearance, big mark, big negative.
It was a big miss.
Big miss on the show.
It was a big miss, and even if you had my friend Alec mentioned this too. Even if you had something weird, like if Triple H, even though I didn't agree with this, if Triple H appeared in the Rumble somehow, in some way, and you had Rollins come in and eliminate him.
Yeah, but
something.
If Triple H entered the Rumble, he would win and face Owens. The time he gave the belt to, that doesn't make sense.
God's got to put his name in there somehow.
Like Seth Rollins, get your ass in the building, drive a car, hit a few people. I don't care. Just try, make an appearance, and that's not on him, but that's on the creative and booking, and it's dumb. The writers have to just go back in your history books and copy something that Stone Cold did to get in a building. That's all I got.
It is really dumb too. Like when you look at it, this feud between Rollins and Triple H, because of the involvement of Triple H, this is going to be your biggest feud going into Mania, or at least one of them. Probably you can make an argument for the biggest. It's
always Triple H's feud.
Exactly.
Going back, I mean, scratch out name power. Goldberg and Lesnar, to me, that's a money match, blockbuster. Reigns and Undertaker, blockbuster. John Cena, Randy Orton, possibly. But the history between Rollins and Triple H goes back 2 years now, 2.5 years.
Yeah, they've got legitimate relationship. They've worked together. Rollins was always has been Triple H's guy.
3 years.
For 3, yeah.
You go back to when he backstabbed the Shield in 2014 before Roman had his run. That's 30 years. I mean, you have a lot of history. But Rollins has got to get in that building somehow. And they've got Raw. I get it. Raw ratings suck. I understand. But it would have been nice.
Raw ratings suck. They do. And unfortunately, that's not really – here's what I pictured. Like yesterday's segment of Rollins trying to take the NXT show hostage was okay. I really thought that you would get more intrigue, more interest if you held up a big 4 pay-per-view like the Rumble. That would have gotten eyeballs on you. Even if before the start of the Rumble match, you appear in the ring and you say, this Rumble match will not start until I'm in it or until Triple H comes out and faces me. Like they should have did something like that.
Security guard shtick like you did. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like they should have done something involving Seth Rollins, and I feel like that was a big miss the entire night. This was a really key chance to try and get this feud going, get this feud off the ground, and it was just.
You got the story, you got the background, you got the history, but you need
you need something to get it going, because after that Universal Championship win by Kevin Owens, Triple H was gone. And there's Seth Rollins as a bland, boring babyface. I don't care what anybody says. He does not work as a babyface unless you have the correct partner with him. And Triple H is that right partner. And if you would have emphasized this storyline in the time when Owens won the Universal Championship until now, I wouldn't be complaining. Because at least the WWE is thinking ahead. They're thinking long term. God forbid we can do that today. But
yeah, I don't think Triple H gets enough credit, because you look at Seth Rollins and you look at how bland you say he was, and I totally agree with you. But even as a corporate heel, he didn't come off great either.
No, he didn't.
He's starting to get better reactions. He's starting to get people behind him because of the corporate bully, Triple H. I don't think he gets enough credit. And again, he positions himself every year. He gets his big Mania payout because he's God, if you will. Triple H. But he's and I hate that when Bret Hart underrates him and says he's not a top wrestler. Bret Hart, stop, get off my lawn, all that talk.
Oh my God, Bret Hart. 4 out of 10.
Triple H is a damn good legend. Like, Triple H is a legend. And yes, his ties to China and Stephanie McMahon got him from point A to point B. But if he was a vanilla, cookie cutter superstar without any charisma, without any relatability, without any sallyability, not to be able to get sold to the people, he wouldn't be in this position. I give Triple H credit, and hopefully on Raw, we can kickstart this feud on the road to WrestleMania. It's only 2 days away. You have 2 months to build to it. Raw didn't have a pay-per-view. We have about, I think, 8 shows. Fastlane, that's right. Oh, shouldn't have a pay-per-view.
Because another pay-per-view. Why not? We have the Chamber. Because
Raw shouldn't have pay-per-view. Saturday night's main event. Do something. But they need to jumpstart this feud. I do want to go back to the Rumble. We have a few possible WrestleMania matches. Crystal clear to me. Undertaker, Roman Reigns. How do you feel about Roman Reigns getting that spot? A lot of people are probably pissed off about it because they hate Roman Reigns just to hate him. But
my friends that I watched the show with included. Oh my God, when Reigns eliminated the Undertaker, I was legitimately scared for my safety. But if you're gonna turn him heel, this is the perfect place to do it. And because there's no way you're gonna get cheered if you're facing the Undertaker. Like, you could be the biggest babyface on the roster and you're probably gonna get booed. It's the Undertaker. I like this spot, honestly. It's a big match for Roman to compete in, another big Mania match. It doesn't really hurt him if he loses to The Undertaker, at least to me, because you're still facing him. Yeah, I don't mind the spot. I really don't.
I think it speaks to, now, whether Taker was convinced to face Roman or whether Taker picked Roman because he picked Brock Lesnar to beat him.
I pick you.
WrestleMania 30, you go back, Undertaker signed off on Brock Lesnar he wanted Brock Lesnar to beat his streak. Did Undertaker seek out Roman, or was he convinced to take Roman on at WrestleMania and convinced to pick Roman as his opponent? Because Undertaker has that pull in the back at this point. Like, Undertaker can do whatever he wants. And I think for Roman, you look back at WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 29. You had that Shield 6-man tag to open the show. WrestleMania 30, I was in attendance. You had that Shield 6-man where they squashed Kane and Road Dogg and whatever. 31, Roman and Brock, blockbuster match of the night at WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 32, after 6.5 hours, we have to have a 30-minute main event with Triple H because, whatever. Still was a decent, solid match, but didn't have that fan reaction that we wanted. But, he was in the main event, and now he's got – so Brock Lesnar, Triple H, and The Undertaker. Roman Reigns, to me, and this is a non-title match, going to be a non-title match, it's big time. And I think people – they won't do it because they're stuck in their ways. They won't recognize him because it goes against all that they believe about professional wrestling. But Roman Reigns in sports entertainment, he's a great performer. He could get that job done, but he's got to be heel in this situation, or it's going to happen anyway. He's going to get booed at WrestleMania 33 in Miami. I was hoping, glimmer of hope, that he would face The Rock at WrestleMania 33, but that didn't happen. But Undertaker is a great spot for Roman. And then we got Goldberg and Lesnar. I mean, What do you think about that match? Oh,
oh my God. The ending of the match, honestly, I don't know.
what do you think it's gonna happen? Goldberg, Lesnar. Lesnar is going to win.
Goldberg Lesnar, I'm actually really excited for because of the obviously everything that happened during the second match. We finally can get the definitive ending to this feud and hopefully erase anything that happened from their first encounter at WrestleMania 20. Yeah, that screams money match to me. I'm all for it. That's a money match that this show needs, and that's a money match that this show is going to get. So I'm fine with that.
I love it. Brock Lesnar is going to win. I mean, he's squashed. Survivor Series squashed at Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar is going to get a win.
Yes, he has to. And honestly, I'd be fine with that to end the feud.
I'd be fine with it too. Brock Lesnar has been the most interesting he's been in 2 years or at least a year and a half for me. He was doing the same old match with the same old shtick at SummerSlam at WrestleMania last year. I was bored to death with Brock Lesnar. Goldberg put him back down a few notches and humanized him. And now hopefully it'll open the floodgates for maybe younger guys to go over Brock Lesnar down the road. Something that could have been helpful at WrestleMania 32 against Dean Ambrose. But nobody's going to remember that because people have short-term memory. Hopefully, I mean, I hope it's a 15-minute bloodbath. I really want that. I really want a hard-hitting 15-minute match.
Yeah, I want it to be personal. I want it to feel personal. I want it to feel like that.
Doesn't have to go 30 or 40.
No, you don't need to go long distances. You don't need to add this, add that, add any titles or anything like that. No, just put.
Give me a no holds barred stipulation. I'll take that.
Yeah, give me 15-minute no disqualification match and let this be a fight. Just let it be a fight.
Goldberg goes out, rides off in the sunset, had a beautiful last run.
That's it.
It's good. I'm glad. I'm happy about that. And then what do you think? I had to get your opinion on Randy Orton. Who do you think he's going to face at Mania? We've thrown out John Cena and Bray Wyatt. What path is we going to take?
Well, here's the question I have. Are they still going to do that rule where you can pick which title you want to contend for? Because they really haven't emphasized that. They really haven't made it known that a winner gets a championship shot of their choice. So
I think SmackDown and Raw. I hope it's that because I don't want him to. I don't want him and Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho is a lock to me for WrestleMania.
It is.
Randy Orton's got to face the WWE champion.
See, this is where I'm.
Or is it going to be Bray Wyatt?
I was about to say, this is where I get a little bit confused and a little bit stuck because I don't think that Cena's, like I said earlier, I don't think Cena's 16th title reign should end in 2 weeks. But then if you have Bray win the Chamber, you have Bray face Orton, which storytelling-wise, that works perfectly. But then what the hell do you do with Cena?
And what the hell is the point of beating AJ?
Yeah, unless you're gonna do another Cena AJ match, but it just doesn't mean that much anymore if there's no titles. And
don't do that. Don't do that. No. I don't want to see another Cena AJ match. They had a great feud, energetic feud, fantastic feud. It's done. History book.
It's over. Yeah.
That's it. I hope just to laugh like I did tonight. That they go with Orton and Cena, and a lot of people, that 70s, 80,000 people, are going to be on their feet.
They will be. Or they're going to completely take over the crowd. Like
now, that could happen. But if it didn't happen tonight, I don't think it's going to happen at WrestleMania 33.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know what they're getting into. I really don't.
I don't think they know what they just did tonight.
Because honestly, once Orton eliminated Roman, you got all those cheers. And then I think that as they're currently on their way home from the Alamo Dome, they're getting it in their head.
They're doing the math.
Doing the math here.
And guess what? It's not going to matter because you're going to cheer that match too. Randy Orton and John Cena heading into WrestleMania 33. I mean,
hey, we never got it one-on-one at WrestleMania.
That's what I said. 8 years ago, 7 years ago, say I'm good with it. And you know what? I'm good with it now because WWE is making a mockery of this crap, and it's hilarious.
For the love of God, just don't have it main event, and I'll be fine. Just have it like mid-card.
Main event, because you know what? It's gonna get cheered. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna have a great time.
Pre-show.
But yeah, that would be a big FU to the fans. And
Yeah.
like I said, I don't know what people think they're getting into. They cheered John Cena tonight. They cheered Randy Orton tonight. Guess what's going to happen? But now they could go the Bray Wyatt route, but that leaves a lot of illogical BS that you mentioned. Why would you beat AJ Styles at Royal Rumble if you're not going to carry it to WrestleMania and hand it off to somebody else? Why would you have John Cena win his 16th title and lose it at Elimination Chamber? Why would you do that? Like I don't get. It's a conundrum. So Cena's got to hold it till Mania. Cena has to me, logically speaking, Cena's got to hold that belt till Mania and face Randy Orton. It's logical. And
Might be your only option at this point.
It's the only option. But do you then you do that Randy Orton Bray Wyatt feud? That's how they get from April to
maybe
June.
If you do Cena Orton, maybe that's where WrestleMania is where you do Wyatt versus Harper. And that can set that up because there's obviously some tension in the Wyatt family, as you've seen in the past couple weeks. And you saw it at the Rumble tonight. So,
hell.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, instead of going the route that you think they're going to go of Wyatt Orton, why not give Harper a big-time one-on-one match at a WrestleMania with his ability? And I'm sorry, but from an overall standpoint, I honestly think he's the better member of the Wyatt family. He deserves that. And the guy
I think if Bray was utilized better, I think he's head and shoulders above Harper at this point. Harper can go in the ring, and he's got a weird look and a weird sense about him. But Bray Wyatt, if I got booking control when they first debuted, Bray Wyatt would be hands down one of the most must-see superstars.
Yeah, I would completely redo a lot of.
I think Bray Wyatt said the same garbage for 2 years, didn't work, lost to John Cena, lost to Undertaker. He was mismanaged.
Lost to Roman.
With better management, I think he's a 10 times better superstar. But
yeah, I think he was
Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper. They're almost equals, like you said.
Yeah. I think he was put in a lot of scenarios that were lose-lose. Obviously, his feud against Undertaker was a lose-lose situation. His feud against Roman was a lose-lose situation. You know, it all goes back. And a lot of people hate when I mention this. Oh, well, Cena didn't bury Bray Wyatt because Cena's not Vince McMahon. He doesn't make the matches. Come on.
Oh, Cena knew what he was doing. He knew that.
Cena knew what he was doing. He still went over, and it all went back to him. This whole string of Bray Wyatt and his lack of success all goes back to Jonathan Felix Anthony Cena. And you cannot argue with that.
Think about this. For people who love to say Roman wins there all the time, Roman lost tonight.
Yes.
Braun Strowman doesn't make sense. Survivor Series, Roman was alone with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt went over him. Tonight, Randy Orton went over Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't win all the time.
Yeah.
Let's be perfectly clear. Kevin Owens has been champion for months and months and months. Before that, they rocket shipped Balor.
Don't even get me started with that.
Like, I'm just saying, like, can we lay off? Can we lay off a little bit? I understand he was Cena-esque in his injuries, but he didn't Cena-esque and win the Rumble. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we have WrestleMania. WrestleMania looks like John Cena and Randy Orton, Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, Undertaker and Roman Reigns, Cesaro and Sheamus, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, and they're saying Shane McMahon, AJ Styles,
which I don't really get.
I don't know. There's elements that could work with that feud. However, I don't understand where you're going to get it from. But
plus, there's obviously you're probably going to have, even though I don't want to see it, Miz versus Daniel Bryan.
I want to see that. I'm so, if Daniel Bryan can get a 10-minute match or 12-minute match out of himself, like I'm for it. I am all in. It was on my dream WrestleMania card. Miz and Daniel Bryan needs to happen because that feud has been stimulating my senses because I love myself. The Southpaw, the Miz, I love that man. Charismatic, oozing out of every pore of that man's body. He can work in that ring. He can talk on that mic. Like I said, the last 2016, AJ Styles, The Miz, and Chris Jericho were your three top superstars to me. Overall packages. I mean, you
completely agree.
Fantastic. And The Miz, I would love to see Daniel Bryan and Miz. I don't know how if it's gonna happen because Daniel Bryan, it's iffy with his neck. I don't want to see him get super hurt. But if they could just have a simple match, it would get it might get close to the best reaction of the night. Like with Daniel Bryan coming back, with Miz being such an ass. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It is. And it's not even a matter of Miz being a safe worker. He's obviously a safe worker. I just don't trust Daniel Bryan. I really don't. I really
on my channel about a safe worker, and when we talked about Miz last time, a safe worker, or maybe it was just me. Ask R-Truth. But there was one instance of the Miz not catching R-Truth. Miz 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. Stop. Seth Rollins.
Come on, get over it.
Seth Rollins has injured more people in the last 2 years than the Miz has ever done in his career. Let's stop with the nonsense. Anyway,
don't even get started on that either.
But that's Miz and Daniel Bryan to me would work. Loads and loads and loads.
Or maybe they could do something like Shane represents Daniel Bryan. Like if Bryan can't wrestle, since Shane is the commissioner, you could do that too. Miz and Shane. I think that would work. But then again, that brings you to what do you do with AJ Styles? And that's just another. It's another. What do you do? It's pretty much.
AJ Styles, his last WrestleMania, losing to Chris Jericho, a big negative for me on that show. You got to get him in a big spot because he's worked his butt off. And I would be fine with Shane. You just have to get me to care about the storyline like I did about Styles and Cena. And AJ Styles can do that because AJ Styles has been working on his mic work tremendously from TNA, his TNA days. He's a very good talker on the mic. Shane McMahon, he's McMahon. They're going to make it feel big time. But WrestleMania looks like it's going to be a big time show.
I hope so.
I hope it's not 7 hours.
Oh God, please no.
You did last time WWE and make it 7 hours, but it's in Miami or Orlando, wherever. Rock's from Florida. He may have another 30-minute promo. I'm just saying. I witnessed a 30-minute promo and a 30-minute match. Don't do it, WWE. But
God bless you.
WrestleMania looks good. My pause on I give Rumble 9 out of 10. All the praise in the world. Good for them. I might knock it down because of the no Rollins appearance. That doesn't sit well with me. My only worry about it is that can they keep it up? Are they going to snowball downhill like last year? Mania is going to suck. Big disappointment. SummerSlam, big disappointment. A big lull for the next 6 or 7 months. Or are they going to capitalize on that momentum, have a great big-time feel WrestleMania, and springboard for the rest of the year? They have 2 roads. Let's hope they go to the road that's going to get more eyeballs on the product at this point.
Yeah.
That's my only concern. That's what I got.
That's my concern as well. It's pretty much this show does have the potential to be a good show, and I think that a lot of WrestleManias over the past couple years have had that potential. Like WrestleMania 32 definitely had that potential, and 31 not so much. But yes, they have potential, but they're also run by the WWE, and
it's extremely hit or miss.
It is. It's extremely hit or miss, and another big problem that I have with this Mania is we're talking about all these matches that are possibilities, and all of them could work. All of them could be really damn good matches, but it just becomes too much. And I look at possible matches, like we've named a good 5 or 6 of them that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
You have to add a women's match, or at least one women's match, maybe 2 women's matches. You need to add something with the tag belts. You probably need to add a cruiserweight match. My really big concern is this is going to become a really big cluster. And when it comes to pacing, that's a big negative when you have a lot of matches. It gets harder to pace the show. And that's another concern for me.
I guess going back to WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania 19, you had 9 or 10 matches. But these shows didn't last 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
People go back to 17, and you had, just look at the big main events. You had Rock and Austin, Triple H and Taker, TLC, McMahon versus McMahon. You had that Battle Royal. You had
You had
Kurt and Chris Benoit. You had about 10 matches on that show. Kurt, who? I was like Chris Benoit, but you have pay-per-views that have worked before with 10 or 11 matches on it. You can do it. Not every match has to go 20 minutes. Not every match has to have the same sort of feel to it.
That's a big problem, though.
Undertaker can't go 20. He can't go 15.
And last year he went 30.
And it didn't work. A few big spots. I was in the moment. I gave it a better grade than it deserved. But he looked gassed after 5.
Yeah.
And I don't think that match should go more than 10.
No, it didn't really need to.
Goldberg, so Roman and Taker, 10. Goldberg and Lesnar, 15. Cena and Orton, less than 20. AJ and Shane, less than. Like, you can have great matches that don't have to go 40 minutes or 30 minutes or 25 minutes. But
yeah, it's like
it's gonna drag on, and it's hit or miss. WrestleMania 33.
Yeah, honestly, it's like when I attended WrestleMania 29, and you had the first part of the show, and there were a lot of short matches, and then you get to the 3 big matches, and they all went over 20 minutes. You could have chipped 5 minutes off of all of them because there's really only one that delivered. It was Punk Taker. Then you had Triple H and Brock that was not really that good, and then you had Cena Rock, which was really, really not good at all. You could have chipped time off of both of them. They didn't need to go more than 20, and I believe one of them even went more than 25, and it just kind of ruined the flow a little bit.
It was Triple H and Brock, believe me.
Yes.
Although when I watched it back, I thought, to me personally, I thought it was a damn good match, but it definitely could have shaved 7 to 8 to 10 minutes off that match.
Yes, you could.
But it's a Triple H match, just like Seth Rollins, Triple H, probably about 30 minutes. just a spoiler alert. But.
Don't be surprised if they make it like an hour Iron Man match or something. Oh man. Immediately following every episode of Raw, you get at least a 20-minute promo segment with Triple H, maybe 25.
I mean, you have Raw, and then like the oversaturation and over exposure and diluting of the product. You look at Raw. Raw's 3 hours plus the Raw talk, which is like 20, 30 minutes. SmackDown 2 hours plus. You have the 205 Live that goes.
I hate that show so much.
Plus talking smack after that. You have pay-per-views that go 4 hours, 5 hours, with adding a pre-show 6 hours.
Yeah, now they don't even care about times anymore. They just go whenever the hell they want to. I understand because now you have the network, you can pretty much do whatever you want, but you still have to remember pacing is important.
WrestleMania 33, time management is going to be key, just like tonight. And I thought for the most part, WWE managed their time fairly well. I liked that they didn't go to the 11 o'clock. They didn't need to. I would have liked a few minutes maybe or a match added so you can drop a couple minutes off a few matches. But I thought for the most part, with 5 matches in 3.5 hours, it worked. And I thought, just going back to the Rumble, I thought it was a great show. And I'm hoping we go in a direction that is positive and not a downward spiral.
Yeah, I remember you gave the Rumble a 9, right?
A 9. A 9. I gave to star. If I gave star ratings, women's would be 3, Universal 4, Cruiserweight 2.5, 2. I don't know. And then the back-to-back, I would do 4.5, 4.5.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, Cena, and then I would Rumble 4.5, 2. But I might knock it down a little bit, and I posted it already to YouTube. But I can do whatever I want on my channel. I might knock it down to an 8.75, just slightly below 9, because Seth Rollins. I mean, it's just a big sore spot on the show.
Yeah, I still have to dissect a couple things. I haven't really given scores yet. I will definitely do that after this podcast is uploaded. And, well, it is uploaded, but as soon as it's live, I can go back and do some stuff. But, yeah, Rumble was a really damn good show. And I really hope that this begins an upward climb for the WWE over the next couple months leading into WrestleMania. Unfortunately, there's another pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
Then 2 weeks after that, we got another one.
Oh, God. I thought we were doing away with these. What the hell happened to that?
Maybe post-Mania we're going to do away with them. I don't know. I'm really – I just –
And now I'm hearing –
tomorrow. That's all I can tell you.
And now I'm hearing rumors that, some of the gimmick pay-per-views, like Extreme Rules and Money in the Bank, they're all going to go to SmackDown. Why? What the hell? Why? What about Raw? There is one thing that was mentioned over the past couple of days that I'm very excited for. Next year's Royal Rumble pay-per-view will be here in Philadelphia. Even though I will be graduated and home in Jersey, I am planning on coming back and attending the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
Breaking news, everybody. I am going to the Royal Rumble 2017. And I might get
2017?
2016. It's 12:30 at night, man. Give me a break.
You mean 2018?
2018, whatever. Damn, I have a senior seminar class at
What is happening?
10 a.m. today. I have a senior seminar class. So I have to but 2018, breaking news, I'm going to be in Philadelphia for that Royal Rumble, and we might get to meet face-to-face.
Absolutely.
In person. And I might be in the Brooklyn area this summer.
Yes, I have. I've heard a couple. It's up in the air. Okay, I've heard a couple of rumblings around my house that I will be attending SummerSlam. It's not confirmed yet.
Wait. Hold on. Alternative fact, Matt. What are you doing? I heard rumblings that I will attend. What? I don't want alternative facts. I want real facts. Are you going or not? Or are you still up in the air?
It's still up in the air is what I was trying to say. Like I said, it's been a long day. Like you said.
I I attended the Rumble tonight, and I'm back at my home.
You attended the Rumble last year, apparently. You were in Orlando that night. That's what you're telling me?
Tonight I was in Orlando, took a quick flight home, and now I'm in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
With you. I am a magician, man.
Yeah, beautiful.
We might see each other twice. I don't know. We're going to find it out. We maybe do a live on scene in action.
Yeah.
Reactions or something like that. I don't know. But
we'll try our best. We'll see what happens.
Thank you for allowing me to take up an hour and a half of your time.
No problem at all.
I hope I didn't scare away too many of your fans, and I hope people don't hate me out there because of what I said tonight and what I laughed at a lot of people about. I hope to be back at some point. It was fun.
Yeah,
And
you will definitely be back. I plan on bringing you back.
I'm going to tell more subscribers to get their butts over here because I have, I have technically 1,078, but a lot of them are active on my channel. So I'm hoping everyone's come over, and we can have a big party at Unlimited's channel. But thank you
Definitely.
for having me tonight.
Yeah, no problem at all. This was fun as always. I would like to thank the 4 people that commented, which were Matt Pace, Logan Barton, my friend Alec Costaval, and the Sports Fan 216.
I know who that is. I knew who you were, Sports Fan 216.
Yes, we both know who you are. That's good. I don't know you. Who are you? But I want to thank you guys for staying in the loop. I'm sorry I didn't comment back, but this is the first podcast. I'm still getting you. Well, this is the first live podcast. I'm still getting used to this, but there will definitely be more to come. I want to thank you, Mr. Charisma, for coming on here. This was a great time as always. I always have fun doing these with you. If you would like to subscribe to his channel, Anything Goes Show, description box down below. We'll include the link. Yeah, I mean, you only mentioned it like 5 times, so I was gonna bring it up anyway.
I'm touched.
This was a pleasure. This was a blast. Thank you all for joining us. Go back and watch some of the other great content on both his channel and mine. See you later.